All right. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another video on this channel. A different type of setting for the first time because I'm interviewing someone who's in Geelong. Geelong is a town near Victoria, I believe.
Yep, it's
Yep.
in Victoria.
One of the major institutions, which is Deakin University, has its campus there, and I'm sure other institutions will have their campuses there as well. But this video is a very highly requested video. It's around scholarships. One scholarship in particular that my friend Vishrut got while he was back in India. And this video is going to be all about his journey, how he got that scholarship, and how prospective international students who are watching this video can also apply and hopefully get the same scholarship. So we'll talk about the process, his journey, acceptance rate, what did he do to get that sort of a scholarship because it's 100% scholarship. So I'll stop talking now and I'll give the mic to Vishrut.
Yep. Hello everyone who is watching, and I know the struggles you are in right now, and I was in your same shoe when I graduated from my bachelor's, and my target was to either get a scholarship and then move abroad. Otherwise, there's nothing else. I don't want to get a loan and then go with a big bag of burden to a new country. So for this scholarship specifically, it was a four-step process in a way. I did my bachelor's and I was working for a year in India. And during that time, I applied. And once you get your offer letter, you get a chance to apply for the Vice Chancellor 100% scholarship. And these scholarships are specifically for country wise as well. And especially for India, we are very fortunate that Deakin has 10 numbers of students who are being selected every year for the scholarship. And it depends every year according to the requirement, like how many number of UG or PG students will be there. In my intake, it was pretty competitive because there were 8 undergrad students and only 2 could qualify in postgrad level for the scholarship. So it is a bit tricky, but then the first step, if I briefly tell you about, is like first is the application. Second becomes a brief introduction about you and the team. They try and have a chat with you, and the third one is a bit technical, where they want to understand why you want to do that course and what would you be bringing as a VC scholar to the university. And the last round for me, it was in the beautiful campus of Deakin at Gift City in Gujarat, where the top 20 were called. Sorry, the top 20 were called, and those 20 were interviewed, and where we had a small group discussion and a personal interview. Upon that, the same day we got the results, and yep, I was fortunate to get through.
Lovely. That sounds great. Before we break all of that down, let's go back. You're from Prayagraj, right? How did you get to know about the scholarship in the first instance?
So, when I was doing my research for masters abroad, I shortlisted a few universities across the globe only on the basis of the scholarship, because along with the course criteria, my target was scholarship. So, when I was checking it out, along with the counselor I was with, I told them on the day one that I'm not coming for just admission in any random university. My target is very clear. Either I
Yeah.
get I go, otherwise I don't go. So they helped me, and I on my own I made a list with Excel, like the course, amount of internship, scholarship everybody is giving, what are the job opportunities there, the future outcome, and the course fee, everything in the worst case scenario if I have to pay. So all that was there. So self research is very important, and
Yeah.
the resources are there out there. Like now, if I have to say, the Chat GPT itself is very ethic. If you use it ethically, it would really help you, and you can get the right information which you need for that in there only. And that's where I got a few informations which I needed, and then I digged into the website of different universities, and that's how I got the information about it.
Got it. Let's talk about the timeline in months because
Yeah,
some people will be applying for February, July, September.
right, right.
Let's talk about it in months.
So, if I have to talk about in the generalist perspective, majorly what you should be targeting is the intakes of that university where they're giving scholarship. It can vary from different universities. For Deakin, we give the scholarship in July intake, which is the trimester 2 for you. So, in Deakin, we have trimester systems. And what is best suitable is that if you're targeting for a July intake, you should ideally apply for an offer by November of the before year, and you will have an offer letter within a month or so. Once you have that, I applied in December, and then you complete the process ahead after that.
Okay, so in my experience in making content and international education,
Yeah.
I haven't heard people applying in November for July intake. So that's a really good insight, right?
Yes.
And let's go a little bit back. So, Vishrut, if I could ask you, what is different about you? Have you represented India in a sport? Do you have any extracurricular activities? Were you a debating champion? What what did you do that you were capable of getting 100% scholarship?
I would say my most important thing is the community engagement, which I have been doing since my bachelor's, and this has made me really stand out. And I'm still continuing that over here in Australia as well. My major goal has been always to give back, so that has really brought a lot of opportunities when started with volunteering, then even getting some paid roles where I was just working for the betterment of society, and I was even getting through and getting up and above. So that is something which I would say is my key point.
Got it, got it. So now we have talked about yourself. Let's now align it with the scholarship, right?
Yeah.
What does the scholarship demand? So,
What they really look into is like, do you have the leadership capabilities? Can you lead wherever you're standing? Do you have your own voice or not? Because having your own voice is very important. And they really want to know, do you engage with community or not? The social aspect. Do you have any contributions which you have done? And something which is very important for Deakin is like they do not only look in your marks. Definitely, there is a criteria of a CGPA which you have to qualify. But apart from that, your co-curricular activities is very, very important for them. And how active are you other than studies is something which they really look in each and every individual.
got it. And not wanting to go forward too much in the process, we'll
Yeah.
obviously go back to the grassroots.
Yeah.
But from my experience, there are a lot of terms and conditions that you have
Hmm.
to maintain your scholarship. Are there any sort of terms and conditions that you have to meet?
Uh, there are two parts, if specifically, if I have to mention. Academically, definitely there is a requirement of 70 WAM, which you have to maintain throughout all your semesters. And it definitely depends on individual as well, like how are they processing it. But as per the university requirement, yes, 70 is a WAM, which is an aggregate required on every semester. And when it comes to the outside academic part, they expect us that we try to engage and continue the things which we were doing in our previous studies. It can either be a bachelor or a plus two, whichever level you're coming from. And so every semester we have a professional and a personal challenge which we set and the university sets for us, where we try
Okay.
to conquer those things with different things which we are doing, and those roles help us to even get a reflection for that.
Got it. So since you're in this space and trying to keep this video as universal as possible, are there any other scholarships off of the top of your head that prospective students who are watching this video should be looking out for?
If we're not talking only about India, then there are many other opportunities. As you mentioned just now, Australia Awards is one of them, and there are other universities as well. Group of eight, some of them do give scholarship. University of Melbourne has it, and University of Sydney as well has it, where I was also one of the finalists in there. So
Okay.
within Australia, you definitely have many other universities as well. But then, if I have to be proud and say this, but Deakin is the only one which gives you 100%. Like, and in
Okay.
the amount of people who come, because when
Yeah.
we have the gathering of VCPEP scholars, it's a room full of people. So I can see that how amazingly they have been doing this and changing life for a lot of people. And outside of
Got
India, there are many other countries which do have their own scholarships, and it depends as per their own criteria. What are they looking for? And the destination is the final choice of the candidate where they're looking forward to come.
Got it. Got it. I think that's really great. Obviously, getting 100% scholarship, as I previously mentioned, and I believe we've been beating around the bush for quite a long time. So let's get back to the actual application process, what it actually demands,
Right.
and how you went about it. So obviously, you said that you got an a condition of a letter in
Yeah.
November,
Yeah.
which obviously a lot of people will get, but that is purely based on, oh, now you have to provide your English, either IELTS or PT
Yes.
scores, and then you have to provide your bachelor
Right.
certificates, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So obviously you knew about the scholarship in November. Now let's talk about what the first stage looked like.
So, in the once I got this, like I applied for the master's level, like first, before even getting the scholarship application started, once I applied, I started collecting all my certifications and things which I had done in my bachelor's. So you have to segregate them and try to get every single thing you have done, because even if you have been a part of magazine development committee, you have to get that on letterhead, because for the proof that you
Mm.
have contributed. So getting those things from the previous place of your education is very important. So
And very hard, especially in
very
India.
hard, because once you graduate, it becomes a bit tricky, because those faculties are not directly in touch. But then I was very fortunate. I had a very good relationship with my faculties, even in my
Yeah.
bachelor's. So they really helped me out. And I reached out to them personally. I was like, this is something I'm aiming for, and your recommendation would really help. So try to get all those certificates. And apart from that, you need two LORs from either your employer or your faculty, depends on wherever you are, what stage you are in. So I reached out to them personally and I told that this is something which I have been doing as of now, and you have seen my journey and you know me very well. So I think that you could be a potential recommender for me, and go to them, seek their guidance, and definitely I think nobody would ever say to recommend if you have good terms with them. Get that thing sorted, and then start preparing yourself what for the things which you will be needing ahead, like because most of the things are there on the website. And with the scholars, when you talk, you try to get the information sorted. Once you have all of that ready, just wait for the first step. And once you get a call for that, submit all the things which they need. There will be a small form. You have to fill those questions and answer all of that. The questions will be like, why do you want this scholarship? What would be something which you will be bringing to the table? What are the things you expect out of the scholarship? Like those sort of questions. Once you do all of that, if you qualify that stage, the next stage would be more about you. They will be trying to understand, okay, who are you as an individual? Do you deserve this scholarship or not? Do you even have those capabilities which they are looking for? Try to assess that. It's not that they judge you on comparison of others. They just try to see that do you tick all the boxes which they want. So they try to see that. Then on the third stage, for me, it was a small panel. Two of people were there, and where it was both of these were online interviews, and where they tried to understand why I'm exactly coming for this master's only, because I was transitioning from architecture to construction, which is like a shift of a degree. So they were trying to understand, okay, why do you want to do this? And then what is your long term goal? Do you plan to stay in Australia? And trying to understand all those things. Once you qualify that stage as well, then becomes most tricky, because from the thousands of applications, the top 20 are called for the final stage. And out of those top 20, only 10 are chosen. So that is where you have to keep yourself very strong, that you have made till this far, and there's definitely something you have in you, and you can make an impact over there. So go prepared, groom yourself well, because when you dress up like in a perfect manner, you really feel confident. That is something which I got to understand in that fine interview. A small story behind it, I'll keep it quick. So when I went on 6th of June last year, I saw everybody was having blazers and they were like looking so groomed. And I was like, Wish, you are not looking good. So went back in the evening, tried to search for a blazer. I couldn't find it. On the day of interview, morning 10 o'clock was my interview. I woke up at 6, went to the supermarket. Supermarkets, like the malls and all, start at 9. The first person to enter in that day, it was me. I was like, you give me whatever you have, I'll pay. I just want to look good. I want to feel confident. So
Yeah.
that is my lucky quote now, I call it. So I bought that one and I took it and I went to the interview, and just happened.
Lovely, lovely. We'll go a little deeper into it, obviously.
Yeah.
But one question there is it a general scholarship, right? So it's not for specific occupations, not for specific industries. So somebody from marketing can get it, somebody from construction management, like yourself, can get it, someone from STEM can get it, right?
Yes, right.
Yep.
It's
All
open for
right, cool.
any industry, like anyone can apply. There is no criteria. And this year, surprisingly, there is one specific degree where four of the scholars are from the same course. So it doesn't
Wow.
depend on what you're coming for.
Yeah, got it. So in the scholarship, the questions that you mentioned were pretty open-ended. So if you could give a perspective of what the university actually looks for in candidates that they are, assessing for this scholarship, that'll be great.
First thing foremost, I would say don't use AI, because they want to see you as an individual. Are you a human enough or not? Because in the era of AI, everybody is getting answers done from ChatGPT. That is not
Yeah.
something they want. So when I was applying for it, I tried to showcase my personal story and why I can get this scholarship and it would make a difference in my life. So that is something which I tried to showcase to them. And I even mentioned if I don't get this scholarship, it's not the end for me. So I was telling them the even the pros and cons of it. So I mentioned if I don't get it, definitely there are many other opportunities which will be waiting for me. But then
Mm.
something which I am expecting to get through, that is something which I try to show. And then I have had, fortunately, a lot of engagement in my bachelor's, where I was even awarded quite a few awards from Ministry of Education to the local community awards and even the competitions there. So I picked each and everything. I did not miss out on a smallest part of it, even from for helping in the Kerala floods time, like whatever I did with NSS, like all the social work to everything, whichever was possible to write on the letterhead, I tried to get that, and I kept all those things in a summarized way in those answers, so that I reflect completely on what I am as an individual. And I think that is something which really helped them to understand it, because I kept it very human and very generic. There's no like very good English they need. They want to understand you, who are you. So that is something I think which stand out.
Got it. So is it safe for me to say that's a very community-driven scholarship? So they're
Um,
not looking for, just achievements. They're more so looking for
yes,
what sort of person you are,
right.
how much value have you added, and you might add when you're in university.
Right, very true. And they even see that are you an emerging leader or not? Because out of this scholarship, the 2 years or the 4 years of your bachelor's would be transitioning you into a VCPEP scholar, which is something which they look forward that will you be able to transition and come out as a golden in golden colors and like a beautiful person. So that is something very important for them.
Got it.
Right.
Last couple of last questions for
Yeah.
this particular video. Obviously, a lot of people would be getting in touch with you over LinkedIn, over other platforms,
Right.
and maybe Deacon might be giving your information out to prospective applicants as well.
Right.
If you could reflect on what their top questions have been. So, what are the top FAQs that you get for this sort of an application? And if you could answer them, just sort of an advice for prospective students.
Right. So the first and foremost very common question, like as we discussed in this video, is also how did you get the scholarship? And when I meet someone in Australia and I have a chat with them, they're like, "You got it? Why exactly did you get?" Like this is like a
Mm,
kind of thing, and
yeah,
it's something which is very common, which I've noticed is people are not aware about the scholarship. If you
exactly.
are not aware, you will never apply for it. And if you don't apply, you won't get it. So that is something which I've seen the most common. But the people who at least approach me through LinkedIn or the other channels, they are at least taking the first step. So there are common questions which we were discussing is like, how did you get the scholarship? What was the process? Is there a criteria which I should be having so that they can assess themselves? And that is something very ideal, I feel, because if you assess yourself and see that do you have all those things which is needed for the scholarship, then it's very good to go and try. But then there's no harm in trying, but then self assessment is very important before even applying. So these are some things which are very common and I see often on LinkedIn.
Got it. So it's not more so, oh, what should I do at this stage of the process? What should I do at that stage of the process?
Right.
It's more about, oh, am I eligible to apply for the
Yeah,
scholarship or
that is something which is the most common. Yeah.
not? Got it. Got it. Any tips for any particular stage that you would like to give to people that are watching this video or any other scholarship as well? Maybe a way you presented
Hmm.
the sort of information you had
Right.
or the way you went about it. Did you keep it very emotional, very personal?
Hmm.
Did you keep it very third party? How did you go about it?
First thing I will say, for the 2 rounds of interview which are online, I had technical issues. Try not having that because I was on a working site. I was in construction site, and for me to get internet in the outskirts was a big problem. It
Mm.
was a challenge for me. So try and keep a space where there is no noise and technically sound. That is for the previous rounds. And the last round, I think why I stood out was because when I went out of all the 20 people, I was the only one who was having a book of portfolio, what all things I have done. It's not about the portfolio of my architecture works, it's about who am I. I had that. I had something which was this, and on this I had all my pictures. Yep, so I kept this as a stand on the table, and I had all my accolades, pictures, the best moment of my life on this, I'm like, you go and shuffle around, you can see what I have done, because I thought this would really engage them. And there was
And very
which I
personal.
had with me was, nobody would ever have seen this, but then if you scroll back to my Times Now interview, you would notice I am wearing an apron. Nobody ever wears an apron in an interview, but then I was really missing my mom that day, and all the students had their parents with them. And I thought, I need a blessing, I need something from her. So she had ordered that for me. I designed something on that, on top of it, and I mentioned that these are the things I'm gonna be doing as a scholar: community engagement, leadership, talking to my peers, helping the community. All the things, when I was talking, I was showing them pictorially. It was like, this is something I did, but this is not something I am recommending you to do. I don't. I think like they will be angry. Even
It's you thinking outside the box, which is needed in this day and age because
right. I mean, it's
everybody is so
how you.
similar to each other.
Yeah.
So you have to think outside the box. You have to market yourself that you've done really, really well.
Yeah.
I wish I knew this when I was liaising with you before because I then would have come up with different questions. But it's okay. We can always do a part two.
Yeah.
Uh, did you have any more for that answer? Other
That
than,
was
if
something
not,
which was, yeah, a quick one. So I feel like that apron and those things might have helped. I can't read their mind, but then definitely I got the scholarship. That does mean it does make an impact. So keeping yourself in a more creative way and different from the crowd is very important for you as an individual.
got it. Cool. All right. A personal question.
Yes.
Obviously like if I keep everything aside, you've saved on thousands of dollars. If I was in your position, my bank account would have been up here because the amount of fees I've paid, mate, at the amount of fees I've paid is a lot, and a lot of people do that, right?
Right.
So how do you plan to leverage the position that you've gotten to then leverage your career and personal goals?
Well, I didn't do the part for the monetary thing because my target was completely to focus on, the society and the engagements which I have been doing up till now. So I used to work only enough to get my rent and food sorted. Apart from that, I didn't do any extra money work. I can make big bank balance right now. But then my target was the 2 years of my journey in the masters over here. I should try and grab all the good opportunities, try to learn about the society, get some internships, and see the industry as well. And that is something which I would recommend to everyone else as well. Even if you have scholarship or not, try to engage in the community, go out for networking events, and build a base where it's a long term commitment for you. It's not only about coming and making money. I do understand the fee is a bit tricky thing, but then do explore the life outside uni, and you will definitely come out in flying colors.
Yeah, that was a video for you around scholarships, around how Vishrut was able to get the Vice Chancellor scholarship at Deakin University, and how he was able to leverage that, and also what the process looks like for prospective students. If you have any questions, I'm going to be detailing everything about his bio, his, the times of the articles that he's mentioned, and everything that has that people have covered about him in the description below. So if you want to read through those, that'll I think add a lot of value. But please, just one request: do some groundwork of yourself first. See if you're eligible or not, because yeah, we just don't want to waste his time or anybody's time. So the amount of things that you can do from your end, please do that and then get in touch with him if needed. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.